which I like Bad Santa a lot too.
That's a good one, yeah.
And that's always kind of been on the list of possibles for us to cover at Christmas, although I think it's a little on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying to find something that's a little bit more off the beaten path, as we do Die Hard and Batman Returns, which always get kind of thrown into the mix at Christmas time. That's my take on it. I do have a quote that we missed.
Okay.
That I want to shout out.
Yeah.
That I think is a really funny quote. It's when Frank and James are walking through the city, as James is, walking with them before Frank gets into the taxi to go to the banquet.
Mm-hmm.
They, walk through the musicians. And James is trying to convince him to come over for Christmas dinner, and Frank just wants no part of it. And then before he gets in the cab, he turns to James and he says, "Hey, you have your wonderful dinner with your cool friends, and the popcorn and the cranberries, and send Christmas cards on recycled paper." And he says, "It's a crock, James. It's for kids. I like seeing you. I like being with you." And he just kind of pauses and says, "Have a happy new year." And then leaves. And that's one of my favorite quotes in the movie. I really enjoy it. I love it. Maybe other people would see it differently, but at least give it a watch if you haven't seen it. Hey, maybe there's people out there who do love this movie just as much as I do. I don't think it would keep popping up on TV at Christmas time every year if there wasn't an audience for it.
I think it's Bill Murray pulling in people,
He's good in the movie.
Yeah. I
know he yells a lot. I know he was miserable making it. But I think he's very good in the movie.
No, yeah. No, I agree. This was a fun one, and I really like how it does. It's really is an alternate take on the story, mm-hmm. and it feels kind of unorthodox. And that, I think it all, like the various layers of what it took to be made, goes into that. But yeah. The final movie it's very crude, but at the same time they kind of clean it up at the end, mm-hmm. and everything feels earned. And I love. We didn't really talk about him, but Bobcat is rad.
Yeah,
just as a, as an individual.
There's. We didn't really talk about him. So let's talk about him really quick, because the film checks in with him at various points throughout this. You see him in the city, usually as like Murray and one of the ghosts are passing by, or someone is driving by, and you always catch these glimpses of him.
Mm-hmm.
He gets fired. He's sitting out on the steps. They bring him his box of shit and kick him off the property, and Frank's watching from his office high up in the building, through a telescope, taking glee in all this. And then you see him at various points. He's trying to drink the bottle, and there's one time where the car drives by and splashes him with the water, and then the paper bag breaks, so he drops the bottle. And then he gets another bottle at one point, and he goes to take a drink, and that's when the taxi cab and the ghost of the Christmas past drive by. And he reaches out the door and grabs the bottle from him. And then he comes back later in the film to kill Frank. Yeah, he is good. He's probably one of the more prominent supporting roles. I would say him and Alfre Woodard have the two big supporting roles in the film, even bigger than Karen Allen, who again I think is very good in the movie.
Lumpy.
She calls him Lumpy. She calls him Lumpy because when they do the meet cute, he's walking down the street and she opens the door to the store she came out of, which I think is a record store.
Mm-hmm.
She opens the door and it hits him in the head.
When they first meet each other on the set of the Scrooge play that they're doing, one of the crew comes up and he's like, "Hey, Lumpy, or I have a question for you." And he's like, "Don't call me that." Or he's like, "You refer to me as this."
Mr. Cross.
Yeah.
That's the guy with the mouse.
Yeah, he's like, I have a problem.
They wanted to the network executive wanted them to market towards animals and cats. That's why he wanted mice in the film or in the TV show
to entice the their pets at home.
Yeah,
right. The way that Bill Murray or Cross is just making fun of that guy when he's going through his. He's like, we spent over $4 billion, and he's like, he's just completely mocking him the whole time. Oh yeah, sure.
That's Robert Mitchum, by the way, for those who haven't seen the movie. Who, I think they were worried that they wouldn't be able to get him, but, he sat down with Bill Murray and they talked and they had a good time, and he was like, sure, I'll do the movie. He's only got 2 scenes, maybe, 2 or 3 big scenes, and that's it.
Because he comes in at the end when his cats are, watching it, and he's like, see, I told you. And then Frank comes on and kind of steals the show for his end monologue, and he gets mad. Yeah,
he wants Frank tossed off the air.
First of all, I wanted to say thank you for always... You're one of the few people on the show who are, bring up things that I'm less familiar with, and I really appreciate that, man. And then, and then obviously you always come fully prepared, so it's always an interesting time. Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Well, it's always a pleasure being here. You know me and my research and my notes.
Yeah.
I'm always a madman with trying to have tons of notes and lots of stuff to talk about.
Definitely. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and this was one that I didn't know a lot of that stuff, but about the conflict behind the scenes. So it was, something new for me to discover.
One of the many benefits of doing the podcast or having a reason to dive into these things, you know what I mean? And then try to make an interesting show out of it. There's a lot of creative aspects that go into each episode, you know what I mean? And it's cool to bounce off not just ideas, but just different takes on things, especially with you, as you're somebody who, throughout the time that we've known each other, I've learned a great deal from you, and it's awesome to have you on the show.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I love doing the show with you. You know that. I wouldn't be on every single month if I didn't.
Yeah. But so, next week, we're gonna... Basically, this is a part 1 of the end of the year tradition.
Yeah.
That we've established within the almost 5 years of doing the show. And then, so part 2 will be coming next week, where we'll talk about our very strange best of episode.
Yeah, not as strange as last year, because we actually...
have more to talk about.
Have a little bit more to talk about. I know that we went on for a long time last year, but that was just kind of... We were up to different things, watching different things, because we had no other choice.
Yes.
This year was, at least partly, kind of a return to normal for a little bit. So there's that, but there's also some other things that, we watched that probably weren't in the movie theater that will be excited to talk about. But I do have more of a traditional, not necessarily top 10, because I don't even think I saw 10 movies in the theater this year. I was lucky to see maybe a solid half dozen.
Which is interesting, since you are a projectionist.
Yeah.
So it must be really strange.
I don't always watch all the films, not like I used to. But yeah, we'll have a good show next week.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure yet. I may have to do it over the phone.
Phoned in this time?
Yeah, we'll see. I like sitting here and doing it with you face to face. But my schedule next week is just as bad, if not worse, as it is this week. So I might have to do it over the phone.
That's fine. We've done it in person for what, 2 months? 3 months?
First one we did was Halloween, so this was our third one. And we'll see. Next week, maybe. We'll see. As well. And then we'll talk about what's coming up in 2022.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
Right? We have we have everything pre-planned out, if you could believe it.
Yep.
Which is, I'm looking forward to more shows with you, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I got some good movies. I need to order them, but I have some good movies on the list that we're going to talk about next year.
I'm sure everybody looks forward to it. I know you have a lot of fans out there.
I highly doubt that.
Well, some people that I know personally would disagree with you there. They tend to prefer your episodes specifically.
Well, that's good. That's very flattering. At least I'm not boring everyone.
No. If anything, you're just setting the bar too high for people, maybe. But yeah, you're very appreciated, man.
Well, thank you.
And obviously, we hope you have a great holiday.
Yeah, you as well. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, dude. To close out the show, if you are unfamiliar with what we do here, we are a San Diego-based podcast who release new content every single week. We've been doing this for just about 5 years successfully, and we're available on all major podcast platforms as of now, including Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, Sods, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. If the platform plays podcast, we are on it. So check us out. Drop the mic. Period. We have an incredible archive now of various genres. 250 episodes, including this one.
Wow.
Which is a lot of content. Hours and hours and hours. So something for everybody. So, once again, thank you, Chris.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Of course.
I always enjoy doing the show, and as it has been for the past 4 years, I like doing the traditional Christmas show with you.
Yeah. So, until next time, everybody stay safe out there.
Yeah, be careful. Things are starting to get a little dicey again. So, make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you get vaccinated. Make sure you get boosted. And then hopefully everyone stays safe.
Exactly. So, and until next time, which you're going to be joining us once again for the best of. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. I hope you like what I got you.
I hope you like what I got you.
I'm sure I will.
Now, if I were in charge, and I am. Perhaps I can help you. Here's the kind of thing I would have done. Grace, cue it up.
Acid rain. Drug addiction. International terrorism. Freeway killers. Now, more than ever,
It is important to remember the true meaning of Christmas.
Don't miss Charles Dickens' immortal classic, Scrooge. Your life might just depend on it.
Not bad, huh?